Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. It's the second match preview of the season as AFC Wimbledon take on Bromley away from home in the first round of the Carabao Cup tomorrow evening. I'm really excited for this one. We have Bromley tomorrow evening and then Bromley away again on Saturday afternoon. So yeah, 2 games against Bromley, hopefully 2 wins against them. But in today's video, I'm going to let you know everything to do about AFC Wimbledon and Bromley and what can we expect from both teams and what I think will happen at the end of the game. If you enjoy this type of content, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The first matchday vlog was uploaded on Saturday, did really well, and yeah, a lot more content like this coming out for the season. But furthermore, let's get into this matchday preview for AFC Wimbledon versus Bromley. So, as I said, AFC Wimbledon take on Bromley away from home in the first round of the Carabao Cup. It's so interesting when everyone saw that it was drawn. We have 2 away games, the same at Bromley in the space of a week, which is brilliant. Both games are sold out. I know we've only got a little allocation of 450. Would have sold a lot more if we got tickets, but unfortunately Bromley didn't want to give us any more home advantage. Who knows? But as Bromley are the home side, we are going to talk about them first. Obviously, they are the newcomers in the league. They got promoted last season in the National League via the playoffs from a win at Wembley in the playoff final against Solihull Moors. Pretty interesting game. It was really close. Both teams could have gone up. And Bromley narrowly won on penalties. It's a lottery when it goes down to penalties. So Bromley got the better of Solihull Moors and got promoted back to the EFL. So how did Bromley do in their first game of the season? It was pretty good. I mean, let's talk about their pre-season first. It wasn't that positive. I remember they lost to Aldershot Town. Didn't really look that cohesive in their squad. Didn't seem like the energy was there. But they've come out of the blue and beat Harrogate Town away from home 2-0, which is brilliant for a first game back in the EFL. Any type of win for a team which has been pretty much predicted to come at least bottom or second to bottom, well, relegated, a lot of people have predicted. So maybe they are causing an upset already. But when you look at it, Harrogate are also predicted to be in and around the relegation zone. So is it maybe... Obviously, it's a really good win for Bromley, but when they play the likes of Wimbledon, Milton Keynes, Bradford, Port Vale, will they get a good win over the line? I'm not really too sure. Obviously, we can't really look at the league table too much. Obviously, we've only played 1 game. But yeah, Bromley will be absolutely buzzing about that. Any sort of win in the first game of the season is brilliant. From the stats, it kind of... Obviously, Bromley had more shots. They had less possession, which was interesting, but obviously they took their chances at the end of the day. Both goals were a little bit scrappy, but those are the type of goals that if you're scoring them, they're going to win you games. They're keeping clean sheets as well, Bromley, so that's really what they want. Should we be worried that kind of Bromley dominated Harrogate? I'm not really too sure, because I think both teams will still be in and around the relegation battle for the end of the season. So maybe it's a relegation clash battle. And as I said, if they play teams which are higher up in the table and expected to do a lot better in the top 7, automatic promotions, playoffs, whatever it may be, I think they may struggle. The only thing about Bromley which I think will be tough is that they're going to be tough to break down. They've got a really strong defence. Grant and Webster at the back was really good. Grant scored a header, scored a goal against Harrogate Town on the weekend, so that's really good confidence for them. That centre back is already scoring goals, and also Michael Cheek, which is probably their key player, which we will talk about in a moment. But yeah, I think that's the only thing that's going to be a problem on tomorrow night. That they will be tough to break down. They're going to be strong at the back. It's a tight stadium. The atmosphere is going to be good. I believe it's sold out. The last time I checked, there wasn't many tickets left, and that was about a couple of days ago. So it will be a good atmosphere from home and away fans. But I think Wimbledon can do it. I think the way we need to just beat them is getting behind. The wing backs are going to play a very important part against Bromley. Newville, if we play the same lineup against Colchester, I'll talk that in a minute when we talk about Wimbledon. But I think if Wimbledon can get in behind with Matty Stevens, Josh Newville, whoever it may be, if Josh Kelly starts, that's another conversation we need to have. But and use the strength of Omar Bugle as well, who was absolutely brilliant against Colchester on Saturday. So if we can do that as well, I think Wimbledon will be all good. Now let's move on to talk about Bromley's key players for tomorrow night's game. Now, it's really tough to see who's going to be the key players after just one game that has been played in League Two. Obviously, Bromley got an amazing 2-0 win against Harrogate Town on Saturday, but I've picked out three players who could be a threat for Bromley. It's an interesting one as well because Carabao Cup teams might want to have a more weak team out. They might want to give other players opportunities. So will these players start? It's tough to tell. The two centre backs that I've already talked about, Grant and Webster, they've been at Bromley for years. They've been really strong in defence. And I think they could cause us problems depending on what type of lineup we have. But I think the combination of either Omar Bugle and Stevens, or if we want to change it up and play Josh Kelly and Joe Pigott, I still think we'll be fine because we have one player which is really strong, really good at keeping the ball, with Omar Bugle and Joe Pigott, and then we have a player with loads of pace, gets in behind, even on the wing if he wants to have a go at one of the left back or right back of Bromley, of Josh Kelly and Matty Stevens. Matty Stevens showed it for when he got past one of the left backs for Colchester, and then he whipped it in, and then we got a penalty, which is really good to see. That's what Matty Stevens does. But I think we'll be all right against Grant and Webster. We just got to make sure the tactics are right, because they will be physical, they will draw us in, they will possibly play quite a low line, so we can't get in behind and get a one-on-one opportunity. If we want to play that way, they're going to cause cheap fouls, maybe just get yellow cards to try and frustrate us. So we've got to try and maybe, it might even be a mental game, to be honest, there tomorrow. It might be all in the head, so we'll see about that. Another player which I've picked out, the third player I've picked out for Bromley, which could cause a threat, is Michael Cheek. Played centre forward on Saturday according to FotMob, but he's centre forward / striker. He's an absolute pain, to be honest. He's strong, physical. He's played at Bromley for years. He's scored over 100 goals, I believe 106 goals in 240 games, which is a really good record for a striker. He's pretty much Bromley through and through. He gives it his all every single game, so he's definitely going to be one which we have to keep an eye out. Maybe man mark him, that could be a good thing. But if we still have the three centre-backs of Ogundare, Joe Lewis and Ryan Johnson, I think we'll do all right. I think Joe Lewis can just mark Michael Cheek for the whole game. I think that would be brilliant. But maybe my only worry is if Michael Cheek is going over to Ogundare's side, the strength might be a little bit too much for Ogundare. I think that's maybe where Wimbledon are a little bit weak at the moment. I think we still need to get a new signing in a centre-back role. That would be really good to see. But yeah, they haven't really made the best signings for the season. A lot of their players that they've signed have played for Bromley before and have come back. They've only got a couple loanees from higher leagues. But yeah, a lot of their players played for them last season. But after beating Harrogate, they may be good enough to do it for the whole season. Not too sure. It's hard to tell how Bromley will do for the rest of the season. As I said, they beat a team which is kind of predicted to be around the relegation zone, even though Harrogate were about 9th, 10th in the playoffs for a majority of the season. Last season they did kind of fall off at the end. But yeah, it's hard to tell. I think Wimbledon can do it. But now let's move on to talking about Wimbledon's first game of the season and how I think we can break down this Bromley side. So now let's move on to talking about AFC Wimbledon. We had a great 4-2 victory over Colchester United on Saturday. Colchester United were really up for it. A lot of Wimbledon fans weren't knowing what would have happened against Colchester. A lot of talk before the game saying Colchester were going to smash us. And after the first 10 minutes, it did seem like it, didn't it? Obviously, Wimbledon went 2-0 down. 2 headers from Ben Goodliffe, former Sutton player. He was one of the players which I talked about in my transfer video, which I think Wimbledon should have signed. And I think that's shown why. The aerial battles is really good. I think if we had Joe Lewis, Ryan Johnson, Ben Goodliffe, that'll be absolutely brilliant promotion favourites. But yeah, Wimbledon started life in League Two in the first 10 minutes very disappointingly. The first goal, to be fair, an absolutely brilliant cross by Jack Payne. Don't want to talk about it too much because he's former MK, but that's what he's going to do for Colchester. They're going to be an absolute threat in the air. But the first header by Ben Goodliffe, unmarked. That's maybe something we need to work on. Maybe we need to look at the tactics before and pick players who are going to mark players in those aerial battles and free kicks. Because Ben Goodliffe is probably one of the better aerial dual battles winners in the league, and he's going to score many headed goals for Colchester in this season. And the second one, it's an interesting one as well. It's the same type of goal, just from the other side of the box. And the player that was marking Ben Goodliff was Josh Newville. I mean, when he's just scored a free header, and we know what he can do even in aerial battles at the back, scoring goals from headers from free kicks, maybe putting Josh Newville on Ben Goodliff wasn't really the best decision. I think we just need to look at it, and especially because we're playing Michael Cheek, he's a threat in the air. He's a nuisance all the time. I think we just need, especially from free kicks from outside the box when they're getting whipped in, we need to get the right men on the right players, because if we're putting Josh Newville on Michael Cheek, obviously Josh Newville isn't really good in the air. He's good with the ball at his feet, taking on players. It's not really his type of footballing ability to go and win headers from crosses which are getting whipped inside the box to players who have scored so many headed goals. So maybe we need to look at that as well. Who is marking who? Just think about it more, and that could be the managerial side. That could just be the players on the day choosing who to mark. But that's maybe what we should look at. The lineup that we put out for the Colchester game was Goodman in goal, Lewis, Johnson and Ogundare as the three centre-backs, Furlong, Smith, Reeves, Ball and Newville as the five in midfield, and Bugle and Stevens. A really good lineup, to be honest. We'll talk about all the goals in a minute. Will the lineup stay the same? I'm not really too sure. Maybe even Ward could get the opportunity in goal, but I don't think he will. I think Goodman will keep the spot. I think Lewis, Johnson, Oggs, that will probably stay the same. John Joe O'Toole is back, so maybe he could play a part in the game tomorrow. Furlong was brilliant. I hope he keeps a spot. We don't really have a lot of depth in that position. If we have to sign another player, I'd say maybe a right-sided centre-back and a left back or left wing back, however it may be. Smith, Reeves and Ball, it could change. Maybe you could see Morgan Williams in there. Maybe we could do a 3-4-1-2, maybe put Maycock in the 10, and then up front it's a really interesting one. Bugle and Stevens, it works so well on Saturday. Will Johnny Jackson change it? Maybe put Josh Kelly and Joe Pigott up front when they came on for the last 10-15 minutes when we were 4-2 up against Colchester. They did play okay, to be honest. Josh Kelly looks threatening every time he gets in behind. Joe Pigott is keeping the ball. He's so yeah, he's strong. Not really. To be fair, when Joe Pigott played for us last time, he wasn't really that good in the air. He didn't keep the ball, but now it seems like he's beefed up a little bit, got stronger. We've actually fed the pig. So yeah, maybe we could see Joe Pigott and Josh Kelly start, but let me know down in the comments if how you think the lineup will change. Let's talk about the goals. So the first goal we had against Colchester was from James Ball. A really good crossing by Furlong, headed away, and then Omar Bugle had a shot and then it deflected off James Ball. Probably didn't know much about it, but that's what we need. That's the type of goals you need to score to get back in it. It's a slice of luck that we needed. If we didn't score that goal, who knows what the score would have been. And then Jake Reeves had an absolutely brilliant shot into the back of the net from outside the box into the kind of top left corner, middle of the goal. But yeah, Alistair Smith had a really good shot saved by Matt Macy in goal, and then it fell out to Jake Reeves and smashed it in. That's what he does. Capitano, experienced, and that's what we're going to see a lot of Jake Reeves this season. And then we won a penalty from Matty Stevens, which was absolutely brilliant. He deserved to take the penalty. He got in behind, got past one of their left back and just paced it down the wing, and then got a brilliant cross in for Furlong, headed it into John Kamani Gordon's hand, and obviously it's a penalty, clear penalty. I'm not sure what everyone was saying that it wasn't a penalty, but they can't, the Colchester fans can't see it from the other side. But yeah, and then Matty Stevens does what he does and slotted it into the bottom right hand corner. No keeper saving it. It was so far into the corner. And then Omar Bugle in the second half doing what Omar Bugle does and scoring a well worked goal. Alistair Smith was absolutely brilliant. He probably deserved the goal. He hit the bar, just didn't go over the line, and then Omar Bugle, it bounced around in the box and he headed it in because no one else wanted to go up against him in the air. And that's how I think we might even win the game against Bromley. Omar Bugle, if he starts, he's going to be so strong in there. He's going to get fouled loads, but we know that he keeps going, barely gets injured. I hope that doesn't backfire on me. He's not going to get injured tomorrow. But yeah, we just got to be strong in defence, especially when you're playing against Grant and Webster at the back. They're really strong, physical. They'll draw you in. They'll give stupid fouls away and they'll try and frustrate you. So if we can get Bugle and Stevens in behind, Bugle using his strength, Stevens using his pace, Josh Newville using his pace, I think we can really beat Bromley tomorrow. And another point, yes, it was a really, really shaky start against Colchester in the first 10 minutes. But it's really good to see and we showed how we can fight back in a game. We're showing that we can score goals. We scored 4 in the first game of the season, which is really impressive. Only 3 teams did that. I believe it was Doncaster, us and Gillingham that scored 4 goals on the weekend. So it's good that we can show, it's good that we're fighting back in games. It's good that showing we can score goals, we can defend as well. Colchester did have some other really good opportunities in the game. But yeah, Wimbledon got the 3 points, is what we deserved, to be honest. But yeah, that's my preview of AFC Wimbledon versus Bromley. Let's give my score prediction. I think we'll win. I'm not going to say we're going to win comfortably, because it's not going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game at Bromley, as some people may think. But maybe Bromley 1, AFC Wimbledon 3. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see us keep a clean sheet, just for Goodman's confidence and whoever's in goal, and the defence, and the confidence in the defence at the back in Joe Lewis, Ryan Johnson and Isaac Ogden. I'd just love to see us keep a clean sheet, as we only did it once in pre-season, twice in pre-season, three times in pre-season. But yeah, it was only twice for Goodman. So I'd love to see him keep a clean sheet against Bromley. That would be brilliant. And then we move on to Bromley again on Saturday, which I will do another preview on, as we'll know a lot more of how Bromley and us play after tomorrow's night's game. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts on what you think will happen tomorrow night against Bromley in the Carabao Cup. And also, if you get through, let me know who you want in the second round. If we do get through, we've had Chelsea away, we've had Arsenal away, Tottenham, Palace away. That would be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. There will be another matchday vlog tomorrow night. And yeah, see you all at Bromley. Come on, you Dons.